Okay, I believe I have a chat window here. We'll see if anybody comes in. Okay. Hello everybody, if anybody's here. Give me a second to get set up here. We're looking at a live view of the moon. And I think my Wi-Fi is pinged out. Okay. Yes. Okay. And is anybody here? Hey, this is you guys here? Can you hear me okay? It's my first time streaming like this. So we're looking through a telescope at the full moon Mars occultation. What I'm using right now, I'm in Pennsylvania, and David NK Stargazer is with me live from Kentucky, and this view is coming from Kentucky. So what we're using here is an ASI Air remote broadcast kind of unit. And what we can kind of see here is we can go to the live view, and this should bring up the constellation map, right? There we go. So this is what we're looking at right now as far as how close Mars is to the moon. So Mars is coming up to the moon here probably within an hour, and we're going to be able to kind of see Mars as it goes through the moon. Should we expect earthquakes? I don't think so. The moonlight is shining across the backyard. Looks so bright. Can you guys hear me? Check, check, 1, 2. Just to make sure. Hey, Stonehill. You can hear me? Stonehill, thank you. Hello from Detroit. Hey, guys. So there's Mars down there, and the occultation will be in a little bit. We got a little bit of time, but it's getting closer. About an hour ago, it was probably 3 moons away from the moon, if that makes sense. 3 moons away from the moon, and now we're seeing it get closer. But there's a few fun things we can do in the meantime, because we're hooked up with a tracking telescope. David, do you want to describe what telescope rig we're looking through? Because this is yours over in Kentucky. For anybody,
yep. So,
the hobbyists out there.
Yeah, for the tech nerds out there, we're looking through an Asker 71F refracting telescope. It's sitting on an EQM 35 Pro mount. And this is all being run. If you use the ASI Air, you probably recognize the screen, but it's being controlled by the ASI Air, and I have wired it so that I've wired from the outside into the house, so I am sitting in the warm house, not freezing my backside off, sitting next to the telescope.
Sweet. All right. So this is kind of the zoomed out mode, all right? But check this out. We want to do something like, hey, let's look for some objects. Let's go see Jupiter, okay? So we'll say, let's go to Jupiter. And now the telescope is going to move up to Jupiter. You'll see a little box come up the screen. There it is, that blue box. That's what the telescope's looking at. So it's moving up to Jupiter right now. And it kind of starts locking on and whatnot. much easier than me sitting out on the Dobsonian. You know what I mean? So we can stop that, and then let's see. For this one,
yeah, switch back over to video mode. There you go.
Yeah, we'll go back to video. All right. So here's Jupiter. It's pretty dim, right? It's pretty dim. We can brighten this up a little bit here. So let's see. A little too much. Kind of there. You see the Jovian moons. If we brighten it up quite a bit, I'm sure the moons will really pop out. But there you can see a few of them. How cool is that, guys? So there's Joopy Joop. We can adjust this to try to do a live view that's a little bit of those striations, maybe. There they are. Starting to see them. How awesome is that? We just swung over to Jupiter. Where should we go next, guys? Let me know where we should go next. Hopefully the live is still working. I have no idea how good it's working or not.
Is your Bluetooth connected to this?
So my chat froze over here. Can you hear me? I think it froze. The sun? Oh no, I can't go to the sun right now. But what we can go to is we can go back to the moon. It's working? Okay, thank you guys for let me know. This is my first time streaming this way. There's a lot going on that I haven't done this before. It's working? Mars? Okay. So let's go to Mars. So we just select the Martians over here. Let's go to them. Here comes our blue box. That's the telescope. Look at Gemini just chilling there. So Mars is getting closer. All right. And then we can just stop that and then hop back into video. I'll just bring back up our video. I have a feeling Mars is really dim right now. Unless we missed it. Unless we missed it. Unless I missed it. Unless I missed it. Oh no. There it is. Here's Mars. I got Mars. I got Mars. Okay. It's just chilling there. Stonehill testing. Nope, chat's working again. It looked like it was frozen though. How are you guys doing tonight? Where are you guys tuning in from? Got a lot of new subscribers here on YouTube lately. and I'm looking forward to doing more live streams on here so I can play around with stuff like this, you know. This stuff is fun. So if we were to stay locked on Mars here, we would see soon that the moon, we would see the moon. Oh, there we see the moon. We're seeing the moon. Can you guys see it? I'm seeing the moon. There we go. It's getting close. Hopefully you guys can see the moon up there. Starting to poke into the screen. Showing your twins. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. This is exciting because on YouTube I have like OBS and different ways of interacting. Like if I have clouds, I can hook into somebody like David's rig in Kentucky where he has completely clear skies, so we can watch this celestial event live. You know, I'm in Pennsylvania. The telescope is in Kentucky, and I'm live streaming to you guys. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, I can zoom into Mars right here. This is like pretty close to the quality we're gonna get. I might be able to clean a little for a live view, but what we can do is we can like stack an image of Mars, and then it would look better. But as far as a live video, it's gonna be pretty slim like this. But I mean, if I dim this a little more, I'm seeing like a little, at times like a little bit of the polar cap, but I'm not sure if that's what we're seeing or not. But that is zoomed into Mars right there. It is a fuzzy bubble right now. Seen strange stuff on the moon? Not really. But there's the moon up here, starting to come into frame. Oh man, full wolf moon tonight. Did you guys make sure to go outside and howl at the moon? David, did you howl at the moon tonight?
That's an everyday thing for me.
And if you guys haven't checked out, David NK Stargazer and myself have a telescope buying guide for people interested in telescopes. Hey, thanks, Spanky. Hey, thank you. Staying warm. Yeah, doing it. Thank you. It's like 5 degrees out. Here in Pennsylvania, I have my tracker set up, but I got kind of clouded out. Now, if it comes back, if the clouds clear later, I'll go out and do some more live with just the moon. But I didn't want to miss the occultation. Thank you so much for that, Spanky. What is that? A super chat? Thank you. You're my first super chat. You did howl, just Demi? Nice. Oh, I can make this chat window bigger too. I'm really like, and I can chat. Nice. You have a glass jug outside on your porch to make full moon water tonight. Awesome. Here, we'll put it like this. As the moon is coming in, we'll adjust exposure and stuff with the moon as it gets closer. Partly cloudy here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Blessings. Welcome in, Clifton. Beth, that's cool that you can do all that from PA. Yeah, isn't it? Astronomy is awesome, especially with technology now, because we can do things like this. You were just out viewing with your son earlier and saw Jupiter and the moons for the first time. Nice. Yeah, Jupiter's shining high in the sky right now. This is Mars just below and to the left of the moon. It's getting real close to it, and it's going to actually go behind it here soon. And it's called a lunar Mars occultation. Now, these occultations happen relatively frequently. Mars has a few of them this year, but this is the only one I can view from my location, or in David's location, I think, in the next few months. Um, Hi, Denise, Michael. My recent videos inspired you to dust off the Dobsonian, the 8-inch Dob. Oh, yeah. I love Dobsonians. I think they're the best telescope ever made. What do you think, David? What's your favorite kind of telescope, David?
Um, the one you're using right now. when, when I get a bigger one, I'll tell you what I don't like is I don't like my 12-inch Dobsonian that I bought a few years ago during the pandemic that got stuck in the Panama Canal when that ship ran aground.
Oh,
It is sitting in my garage, not to be used. It is a boat anchor.
thank you, Sean,
Anyone wants
for the super chat. Thank
anyone
you,
wants to
Sean.
buy a 12-inch Dob? Go ahead.
Um, Wind chill in Detroit right now is 4 degrees. How often do these occultations occur? Monthly, pretty much, I think. Pretty much monthly. Now, are we going to want to record this with the rig when it happens?
We certainly can.
And it will record the video?
Yep.
Okay. Because I know we are going to... This will be posted after this live stream, too, for anybody that misses it.
Right.
But wind chill of 4 degrees, that sounds like here in Pennsylvania. Is the guide on my YouTube channel? Yeah, my channel page, if you go to the link, it should be like my link tree should have it. SunshineNate.com should have it. All of that. Diane, thank you for the super chat. What do you use for real-time imaging? Right now, this real-time imaging, David will have to explain it to you because this is his setup that I am remote controlling. It's in Kentucky, and through our astronomy community that we're launching in February. This is the kind of thing people will be able to do with David. So, David, if you want to maybe explain a little bit of what they're seeing, or what you're viewing through.
So this is a refractor telescope. It's an Asker 71F, and it is on a computerized mount. I'm using some internet wizardry to allow people to remote into it and use the telescope. Now tonight we're using it for this occultation. Oddly enough, this very expensive telescope is not great for planets. So the images that you've seen here of Mars and Jupiter, that's about as good as it gets with this telescope. It's a completely different type of telescope that allows you to photograph planets and things like that. My telescope is set up primarily for deep sky objects, and that's where it really shines. Typically what I do with it is I use it for astrophotography, and I turn it loose on a single object over the course of an evening, and then I go back and I process that data into an image the following day.
Hope that answered your question. Thank you, David. Also very cool. Sweet. Just Emmy said, SunshineNate, what did you want to be when you grew up? An astronaut? What made you study the planets? Honestly, I've always been kind of a space cadet in the mind. But this is not my career. And it is more kind of like a hobby. But it has become more and more something that I would like to pursue more professionally. The main thing I do as my profession is I'm an audio visual events engineer and producer and stuff for big events. Basically, when I was 16, I started going on tour with punk rock bands. All right, and then it grew from there. I went to school for it, audio engineering, recording, had a recording studio for a while. Always been in event production and stuff. Very high pace, high stress kind of job. But I always liked to just stargaze. Just general stargazing. And over the years, that what I used to do to just kind of relax has become more just all I want to do. So it's kind of been like a transitional period. It started with just like something I like to do, like fishing, and now it's just kind of blown up into something else all entirely. And now I'm controlling telescopes in Tennessee and going live with you guys.
I haven't moved. I'm not in Tennessee.
I don't know if you can see the chat, David, but Demi said thanks for the views, David.
Yep, very welcome.
Actually, if you David, if you want to monitor the live stream on YouTube, that might help a lot. So
Yeah, I'm in chat right now.
Oh, okay, sweet. I'm gonna try to get a cool view of the moon here as it's getting closer. I want to. All right. Now Mars is really kind of dim. It's going to be a balance between these two. Trying to keep Mars bright enough and the moon dim enough. I can probably bring that back up a little. Oh, that's real sensitive there. I think that's pretty close. What do you guys think? We got the Mars and the moon. Does it look good on your screen, guys? Thanks. We got Michael. There's Northern Kentucky Stargazers. And could never have found Jupiter on a random night growing up. Really? I used to think that, and then once I learned about Jupiter and just realized how bright it is in the night sky, I almost like use it as my guide every night. Rivers in the Desert, welcome in. How you doing? Good evening. Recommendations, first time telescope. I have a lot of recommendations. I think I'm very biased to Dobsonian telescopes, but they are a very popular purchase for beginners, mainly because they're very easy to use, which makes them easy to learn the night sky with. Another thing is travel telescopes and binoculars. If you like to just like quickly look at the stars, see where things are, binoculars are like a little 70 millimeter travel telescope. You can zip around in the night sky as quick as your mind can think. But as far as like some big, powerful hair on the back of your neck views, something like a Dobsonian telescope. And then like one of the best-selling telescopes of all time, or at least of modern time right now, is the Celestron Nexstar 8SE. And that's known as people's first serious telescope. And I actually have one I'm purchasing off of David that I'll be getting here soon. And I'll be able to share more of that. But that's kind of the recommendations. Thank you for your efforts and channel. Really enjoy this. Oh, I'm glad you're here, David. Just Demi, Hawks Nest Lodge in West Virginia near the New River Gorge. It's a great place to use telescopes to the moon planet. Yes, there's a lot of dark sky parks across the country. I've rarely gone to any. David, have you been to some big dark sky parks? Moon consumes Mars. There we go, yeah.
The astronomy club I'm a member of, Cincinnati, it's the Cincinnati Astronomical Society. We actually have 2 dark sky sites. We've got one in Adams County, Ohio, and then we've got one down in northern Kentucky that is probably about an hour and a half away from me. And the skies are fantastic out there. There is also in the Ohio area, there is John Glenn Astronomy Park, which is it's a space that's set up specifically for stargazing, and they kind of protect the dark skies around there. It's not as dark as getting out away from the city.
Yeah.
Red River Gorge down in Kentucky, east of Lexington, is a good place to observe. Although I know there's flat spots out there that are easier to get to, but man, some of those flat spots that you can take a telescope to, you wouldn't want to take a big telescope with you.
Hi Tracy, beautiful. You did want to be an astronaut, Nate, but I ended up doing construction instead, although it reminded me of another time I said firefighter, and I'm Sagittarius Stellium, haha. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I changed my mind on what I wanted to be, and continue to. I think, I think you just kind of follow what you enjoy doing, honestly, and that can change a whole bunch while you're growing up and while you're older. It never really stops changing. Looks like the moon is prairie dogging. It is. It's kind of prairie dogging into the screen. Thank you for helping us see this beautiful, my friend. Just oh, you're welcome. Um, the star planet you're seeing underneath the moon is Mars. Tonight is the full wolf moon and Mars occultation. So Mars is going to be passing behind the moon. And right now we're looking through a telescope view here as Mars is approaching the moon. So we can adjust a few different brightnesses here with it. The main thing being, if we bring up the exposure, watch what happens to the moon. Okay. But that lets us see Mars here a little bit better, right? So we can come into Mars there. So we see Mars a little bit better, but the moon kind of gets washed out. So I'm kind of adjusting that as I can, and maybe the gain can balance that. I might have glitched it out. Did I glitch it out? No, I think that's pretty good. Let me get this back out so I can see Mars while I'm doing this. That gain might be the key right here. Yeah. There we go. Black hole. Oh. Super excited about space, Demi. So am I. I love space so much. You just saw Mars with the naked eye just a few minutes ago, right next to the moon. Yep. That's what we're looking at right here. Little speck is Mars. Thought you had dust on your phone. Yeah. Oh, this is Mars. We could zoom in a lot, but it just kind of is a little floating fuzzball. As you can see, the moon is coming into frame quite a bit more. Probably get it to like here. Pretty cool shot, David. I'm digging this.
I may never get my telescope back again.
He's never getting his telescope back again. This is the full wolf moon, too. You have to go back outside and look. Yeah.
And where did he show him a deep sky object? That's what always impresses with this telescope.
Oh, yeah. While this is behind the moon, I think we have about an hour or so, or even more. We can go check out some deep sky objects, and David can kind of, I don't know, while I'm on this, are you allowed to like take the reins of it too?
I can control it from my end too. They just won't see all of the screen changes. They won't see anything change until the new image loads up. But yeah, the Orion Nebula, the Pleiades, a lot of really cool. Andromeda Galaxy is one that's up for a little while longer.
You also saw the ISS streak across the sky earlier for the first time. Tonight, there's a full moon transit of the ISS in upstate New York down to New Jersey.
Oh, I bet Jersey Starman's going to be broadcasting that one.
Oh, yeah. I hope he noticed it if he's been tracking the ISS. South Texas, so Mars is very prevalent and bright. Nice. Mars looks like it's almost touching the moon. You're in southern Ohio, by the way. Yeah, it's real close right now. And I mean, for the moon, be able to get in real close. This looks so good. What time? I don't know. You have to go to the ISS tracker for that. Even with the full moon, you can see deep sky. Yeah, like we'd do check out the Orion Nebula. We could check out Andromeda. You can check out a lot of things, even with the full moon. Now, it doesn't. I wouldn't say that your astrophotography is going to be the best on a full moon, but you can still view them. Well, it's through long exposures, so that process is a little different than just like a live view like this. It's nearly live. So you'll wait for an image to process, like take an image for 30 seconds, and then boom, you start to have an image. Then every 30 seconds on here, that image updates with more and more data coming in. And after a little bit, we'll be able to see it more and more clearly after a few minutes. So it's nearly live. It's not so much video. Like right now, you're looking at just video of Mars and the moon. You may have to get the scope back out. You should, Michael. You have perfectly clear skies, but there's a halo around the moon in Virginia. You got some moisture in the atmosphere. You might have some rain or snow soon. It's a good sign. The moon halos are a good sign that you're going to get some precipitation soon. Clear skies here in New Brunswick, New Jersey. No clear skies there. I hear you, Barry. You know what? I was outside, set up the tracker, did this whole video. I was like, we're going to go see it. And then the clouds rolled in. I feel you. I've had a lot of clouds this year. How far can I go? On the moon? I don't know. Here is a little bit different than the Dobsonian view. Like the Dobsonian live view of the moon is like unbelievable. It's incredible. But I don't know how much. I mean, I can mess with the settings here a little bit to try to get the moon cooler looking and then zoomed in, but it's going to dim out. It's going to dim out the Mars. All right, so you do something like that, and then we can get in real close with the moon. A little bit of wibble wobble in the atmosphere tonight. I mean, we can get real close down to the pixels, but those pixels are probably like a few square miles, 5 to 10 square mile pixels. The width of the moon is about the width of the lower 48 United States. Ooh, we're starting to see my favorite crater in the top left there, that really bright one, start to come into view.
Yeah, with this telescope, it's the camera that's on it is an astrophotography camera. So it's a 4/3 sensor, and it's like 4K, 6K range as far as the resolution. But when it does video, it only does video. The highest is at full HD. So 1080 by 1920, whatever the full HD resolution is. So video, you don't get as clear an image. Typically when and this is with any type of telescope, when we image the moon or the brighter planets, the way that we do that is we take video like we're seeing right now, and we will take, anywhere from, I think probably 60 seconds is overkill for most of it, but we take that video and we run it through some specialized software that actually breaks that video out into frames, selects the X percentage of the best frames and stacks them together, and you end up with a much clearer image than you actually see. just NVIDIA.
Yeah, Mars is so small compared to the moon. But we can see it getting closer. I'm so happy we're able to stream this tonight. The amount of work it would take for me on the Dobsonian to do this, I'd have to move around so much. And to be able to auto track it this well, phenomenal. But if you guys haven't already subscribed, you should. I post videos all the time with shorts of celestial events and astronomy. And now I'm going to be posting this live, as well as going to be doing more telescope long videos. I didn't expect everybody kind of came in all at once this past month. I met everybody. I had a month ago I had like 100 subscribers on here. Now we're at 75,000 or more in a month. It's been crazy, but it's nice to meet all of you guys, and I look forward to making a bunch of content for you and a lot of live streams like this. We'll be doing a lot of live streams. And on SunshineNate.com, David and I are launching an astronomy community, online community. And maybe he can talk a little bit about what that's going to be like. He's kind of spearheading it.
Yeah, we're going to we're going to be building out an actual. We're not real sure how deep we'll go with it yet, but it is going to contain a whole lot of resources. Like we've already got the links over there to the telescope buyer guide and Nate's frequently asked questions. We will have a community system where people can register and they can kind of get to know each other, maybe do a little bit of chatting. There's a Discord on the back end that we'll probably end up connecting. Just kind of put it's funny, we're actually kind of, in a way, we're rebuilding the community that we've had on TikTok for so long that is probably about to get thrown in the dumpster, unfortunately. But it's good to get it out into the internet and not rely on one platform anyway. So it'll be. I'm working on it right now. A few more sleepless nights, and we'll be done probably in February, ready to launch it.
Awesome. Yeah, guys. So that'll be happening soon. What do you recommend for astrophotography? Dedicated sensor or an SLR adapter, David?
I at this point, I know that there are a lot of people who live and die by DSLRs, and I'm just not one of those people. I mean, I think that DSLRs can make fantastic astrophotography cameras, but you're not going to get a DSLR with a cooled sensor on it. The cooled sensor is really, really important to keep those hot pixels out of there, the bright spots that you would get from a DSLR that you end up having to process out. Right now, the camera that is probably used by the most people that I know of is the ASI 2600, which is I think it's almost a full frame sensor, not quite full frame. And they even make one now that's the ASI 2600 with the ASI Air, the computer that we're using here to control this. It has it built into the camera. It didn't make a lot of sense to me at first, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about how much stuff is attached to the camera or to the telescope. You can't really even tell that there's a telescope under all the junk I have attached to it. So can save you some space. It's also one of the more expensive cameras, but that's the one that I see most common. So like if you go into a place like AstroBin and you're looking at images in there, more often than not you'll see that. Now I use all ASI gear because I use the ASI Air, but these cameras are available from different companies with the same sensors in them if you don't want to. I always tell people that, using ZWO or ASI, as most people know them, is kind of like buying into the Apple ecosystem. You're going to use mostly everything that you're going to plug into the ASI Air has to be, an ASI product. If you don't want to do that, if you want to, stick with a regular laptop computer and, be more, have more options, you can certainly go that route. It's really not one benefit one way or the other. The ASI Air I found was the easiest for me to learn to use. So you can always find what, if you're shopping for an astrophotography camera, without going too far into the weeds here, rather than look at the brands, just depending on what you want to do, look at the sensor that's in it, because all of these cameras use the same Sony sensors. And you'll be able to recognize the number. 2600 is I forget which sensor. I don't know if that's the 2600 sensor. In the one that I've got right now, it's a well, shoot, whatever. It's a number, but several different companies make the same camera, but with a different sensor, not proprietary to ASI.
Oh, now you do if you adjust your capture on Mars. Yeah, Mars is pretty dim compared to the moon. So to just kind of like, since we're a bunch of astronomy folks in here and stargazers, with the moon being so bright when it's a full moon, I can control this with this ASI Air stuff here, and our exposure, I can brighten that up. And now what's going to happen is the moon, it's going to brighten up Mars, but it's going to really overexpose the moon, but it brightens up our Mars here, so we can take that a little bit further, add some gain to it, and a little more exposure, and the moon's going to just white out, but look how bright Mars is now. So to find a happy medium between that and that is what I've been trying to do. What do you guys think?